Hi, I'm Brian Tashima. I am the author of the Joel Suzuki series of young adult science fiction fantasy novels, and I'm also an instructor and the co-lead for Autism Empowerment's Neurodivergent Creators Collective. And in this video, I want to share with you 5 tips that will help you finish writing your novel. The first tip is to make writing part of your daily routine. It might be hard at first, but if you make it a habit, you'll find that it gets easier as you go along. Just think of it as like brushing your teeth or something that you do every day just automatically. I hope brushing your teeth is part of your daily habit. So once it becomes part of your routine, something that you do every day, then it gets easier and easier as it goes along. Tip number 2 is to gamify the process. And by that, I mean, remember back in grade school when the teacher used to make like star charts, and every time you did something for the day, she would give you a star. So just do the same thing for yourself for writing your book. You don't actually have to have a star chart if that's too kiddie, but make a spreadsheet, because you know we all love a good spreadsheet, right? And put the days in a row, and every time you finish writing for the day, you can either just give yourself an X or a check, or what I like to do is to write down your word count for the day, because that way, if your daily word count goal is, say, 500 words, maybe on Tuesday you wrote 250 words because that's all you had time for, but then on Wednesday you were able to write 750 words. So then you can go back and add it together and see that, okay, I made my goal within those 2 days. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is to have a dedicated place for you to write. Someplace that you're comfortable, someplace that gives you privacy and stirs your creativity and your imagination. And that can be maybe a coffee shop down the street, or it can be even just a room in your house. Just somewhere that you go every single time to write for the day. And then that will help you make it part of your daily routine, your part of your habits. So that's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is to write in your head. Because if you're anything like me and you have a tendency to overthink, why not use that brain capacity to, instead of like worrying about the future or whatever, use it to write your book while you're doing other things. So like if you're in the shower or brushing your teeth or doing chores, you can start thinking about, well, what was that scene that I wrote yesterday and where should it go today? You can actually kind of think about what your characters are going to be doing, what they're going to be saying. And oftentimes, and when I've done this exercise, I will come up with so much stuff in my head while I'm away from my writing space that I'll be like, I just can't wait to get down to my writing space and start writing. And that way you'll kind of have a head start on writing for the day, as opposed to sitting down in your space and staring at the blank page for like 30 minutes, just trying to get yourself into the groove. So that's tip number 4. Tip number 5 is to work with a writing group or writing friends, or even a book coach. Somebody to keep you accountable, because I find that when you feel like you're writing for somebody, it really helps your motivation, helps you stay on track. Even if they're not going to read what you wrote necessarily, you can still have somebody to say, hey, how was your writing this week? Did you meet all your goals? And you go, yeah, I did. Like, I'm so proud of myself. And so like, having that kind of interaction and that kind of feedback and that kind of accountability, I find has been really helpful. So that's tip number 5. Personally, I found these 5 tips to be very helpful. I use all 5 basically at the same time for the most part when I was writing my Joe Suzuki series, and they really helped me in cranking out first drafts and revisions and everything. So if you apply them, I hope that you find them beneficial as well.